Hello and welcome to another Rome Total War battle. I've decided to show you this one because it really does show how some of the Germanic units work. Not that I'm proud of how I do in this battle. It doesn't go quite to plan. So, up front here I have 4 Germanic Spear Warband. My opponent was the Seleucids, so I was sort of hoping I could just sort of use them to kill elephants and cataphracts. Behind them I have quite a large number of Chosen Archer Warband. These are very good because they have quite a long range, and I've used them before in previous battles, and they do outrange Roman archers. Seleucids only have, I think they only have regular archers, they don't have Cretans. So they should do fairly well against Seleucid pikemen. So I'm sort of planning to charge the flanks really at this point and try and just skirmish up front. Over here I have Barbarian Chosen Warlord Cavalry. This is just to delay the inevitable Seleucid crush. I'm actually going to hide them, and that's partly because I'm hoping my enemy will be cocky enough to attack me. Well, that's not going to be the case. He's actually going to keep himself on that hill up there. So I've got 4 of these Barbarian Chosen Warlord just hiding off the flank. I'm hoping I can surprise the enemy, but the problem with Rome is that in terms of ambushing, once you start moving a unit that's hidden, it then becomes unhidden, and that's really annoying. I cannot say how annoying it is. It's one of my many reasons that I prefer Rome 2. So at least then you can keep units hidden. Forests, move them around and ambush at will. That's really fun. Rome 1 doesn't have that function. That does annoy me, as you can tell. Anyway, back to what my army has. These are 2 Chosen Axemen. Now, in retrospect, I should have brought a lot more of these guys, because they did so well. In fact, frankly, the cavalry are, to a large extent, useless. Over here we have another thing in the army which I think I use Berserkers too much, really, and this sort of shows. They can be good in their Berserker mode at taking down just about anything, but depending on the sort of units that they go up against, they can take heavy casualties. And this is the case with elephants, which is what you're going to see during this battle. So now I've got control of my mouse again. We'll go and look at what a Seleucid army looks like. So you have 3 onagers, there's a lot of elephants here, 4 in fact, 2 cataphracts. I mean, again, if I was to properly counter a Seleucid army, or if I was the Seleucid player, I might try and play down the number of elephants. Primarily because when you're handling elephants, you have to be very careful that you're not overexposing them to, well, pretty much anything. Berserkers, for instance, very mobile infantry, that's sort of what Germany is good at, or Germania, I should say. Silver Shield Pikemen, I think, are probably the best pick for the Seleucids, because legionaries the Silver Shield legionaries you can't rely on, and they're much weaker than some of the heavier Roman infantry that you can get in typical Roman factions, so good pick doing the pike wall. It also makes it much trickier for Germania to engage, and that's why I brought a ton of archers. Partly in tactics is my idea, but I haven't got the right composition to truly do this very well at all. In fact, if I was to do this army again, I would probably limit the number of spears and even consider taking out the Berserkers. And I will get on to exactly why I would do that later on in the video. But for now, what we're seeing is cataphracts and elephants splitting up on both flanks. So we have 2 cataphracts, 2 elephants on the left. General's bodyguard. I've actually found recently that with the Seleucids, using cataphracts as a general's armoured bodyguard might actually be a better idea. Not just because the unit size is bigger, but when you have things like berserkers which can instantly chew through hit points seemingly and destroy stuff like elephants because they can, the hit points really mean nothing. So in actual fact, in some cases I'd say the cataphracts are better because they're more heavily armoured, can do more damage. But here we're going to see, this is a flank attack by these cataphracts. And moving up I have chosen Axeman. And he's very keen to get into my archers. And there's 2 reasons for this. One, because I happen to know the person I'm playing, and I usually do exactly the same thing. And 2, if he doesn't get rid of the archers, then his pikes are going to be in a lot of trouble later on, so that's the key. Over here we have Germanic warlords fighting cataphracts. Yeah, the cataphracts need the element support, that's what's going to happen. And here come my berserkers, which were hidden. So I brought those into the fight, and I'm hoping now the elephants are engaged, I can take those down. And look, in the right engagement, berserkers can take down elephants, but also in the right engagement, elephants can take down berserkers. It's simply a case of who's got more fatigue. And really, in the case of elephants, you need to engage them sort of behind the berserkers, not in a direct engagement. So, I mean, here again, these armoured elephants causing a massive problem. But over here, I'm managing to get through these cataphracts, and it's just the fact that I've turned my archers around, and I've also got these chosen axemen who are brilliant at Germanic cavalry is fairly crap compared to distant factions. Don't go elephant gone. Chosen axemen. They are pointed by the elephant, but they have archer support, and these axes are actually quite good at taking down elephants. So I really should have brought more of these guys. I really should have done that. And the fact that I'm losing here is because I don't have enough anti-cab infantry to cover. Yeah, so you can see, really very easily able to take out, and I'm still in control of them, unlike the berserkers who are now going to commit suicide. So again, there's another reason for completely getting rid of any berserkers. Here I managed to get into his onagers. This was a slight oversight from him. He was probably managing the cataphracts and the elephants, which require a lot of time and effort. And what I'd actually done was taken the Germanic warbands over here. You can see some elephants have gone down. That's because I rushed them into the elephants in a flank attack. And because the elephants were so far away from the flank of these phalanx pikes, they were able to take out the elephants. Oh, sorry, because the elephants are so far away from the phalanxes, they're obviously able to take out. They were just a vulnerable target at the time. So back in here, you can see that unfortunately,
your warlord is a cowardly old woman, not concerned with dying like a warrior. He runs.
So I think at this point it's easy to explain what a good anti-Seleucid Germanic army is. Let's start with a lot of Germanic chosen axes. Fewer spear warband, maybe only a couple. No berserkers, because to beat the Seleucids you need to stay in control of as many of your units as possible. And possibly just some units of good all-round infantry, just some axe warband or something, axe infantry. I mean, the amount of archers. Look at this, I'm able to just sort of go through his pikes with the archer warbands. And the only reason I don't have enough ammunition is because I've had to waste it on trying to take down elephants and cataphracts. So again, there's this problem that my army wasn't properly constructed to take on the Seleucids here. And I feel like if I was to take on the Seleucids again, I know exactly what I was going to bring. More or less. So here I've got 3 berserkers, I'm going to get them right into this phalanx. It's going to reform that I'm targeting this because I've only got archer warband, so might as well. Silver shield pikes are taking a lot of archer fire because they're quite resilient to head-on archer fire. And I'm able to stay very far away from the phalanxes when I'm firing, so equally that's good. The other thought with this build is to actually get rid of the heavy chosen Germanic cab and replace it with a much lighter cab that can get into the onyx, because I've wasted about 3 units to get these onyx down. You can see there's a lot of dead spear warband around where the onyx were. So at this moment in time I'm left with not very many units. But equally, I've managed to disable all of his cab. So I've only got one small problem, which is about, well, yeah, I mean that's about 7 units of, yeah, 7 units of silver shield pikemen, plus the general. And I'm slowly running out of ammunition as well, so I've got units I'm bringing. Chosen archer warbands up onto the hill. I think these are ones that have actually run out of ammunition. In fact, yes they are, so they haven't got much in terms of weaponry, just a knife. Very small knife. And then I've also got these chosen axemen, which is what he's going to want to take out. So again, I mean, I know people like to use berserkers in Germanic armies, but from my point of view, and I'm just going to fast forward here so you can see what happens very quickly, because I don't think there's much point in continuing this too much. There's a lot of outmanoeuvring going on. I'm trying to get into the pike units here. He's going to box up because he realises that I'm going to try and wipe him out. And that's his only tactic, really. I mean, what I like to do in this sort of scenario is actually do a double pike line. What that effectively does, it means you can advance with one pike line, and then you can use the second pike line to sort of take on side attacks, rear attacks, and you keep moving the front line forward. If you need to make the line bigger, then you bring units out the side by taking them out of phalanx and going back in, but here we go. So I've deployed less men, I've got half the number of kills. That was just taking out his cavalry, so about half his army was cavalry there. And with the Seleucids, they do have the powerful cavalry, so again, sort of likely that you're going to come up against mostly cav when you're facing Seleucids, because you have the elephants and you have the cataphracts. I mean, men remaining, not many. Here we can see he's killed pretty much my entire army there. Again, it's not the right build. There's too many. I had like 5 units of spear warband. I sent them into the elephants on the left flank, which unfortunately you didn't see there, but that's the result of it, just 3 elephants. Whereas the Chosen Axemen, who were over there, managed to kill, and we'll just zoom down quickly. So these are the cataphracts. Now that was partly Chosen Archers, partly Chosen Axemen, but yeah, I mean, you know, cataphracts there, and then we've got the elephants here. Over here we have what was his left flank of cav, which I think taking that out rather suicidally, not as well as I could have done. And again, if I'd replaced the Berserkers with the Chosen Axemen, I think that I would have had more units at the end capable of destroying his pike units. And it's just unfortunate there. Germania will always find it hard to defeat the Seleucids, but with the right sort of build where you can attack the powerful Seleucid cav with infantry and maybe throw some cav units in just to sort of stop charges. Follow that up with the powerful infantry once the elephants are engaged, keeping the archers back as, well, they sort of were back, but keeping them back with enough support, then that would actually work, in my opinion, in sort of unpicking a Seleucid army, so long as the archers don't really play much of an engagement early on, because you're going to need the ammo taking out the pikes, and even then that might not be enough. So as always, that's my roundup of Germania versus Seleucids. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.